Finally, I have dropped a video on YouTube, and this is the look. I call it a copper penny night fall classy kind of ratchet, depending on how you dress it. This is it, and let's dive in. So first, I'm gonna start with a brown gel liner. I got this liner from the hair store. I'm not sure which hair store I got it from, so I will put it in the description box below. If you guys have seen this product, please let me know so I can go find it again. And I'm just carving out her natural brow. So then I'm gonna dig straight into our brow shaping kit from Benefits. There is a shadow in this kit. I'm just gonna take that and go over that gel liner, just giving the eye that matte finish. And as you can see, I've already carved the brow using our Pro Concealer in the shade Cool Tan. I'm also taking that all over the lid, priming the lid instead of using an actual eyeshadow primer. We are using this concealer to prime that lid, honey. Just make sure you get it all the way. No creasing. So then I'm going to take a Lancome Translucent powder. This is the Long Time No Shine setting powder, and I'm pressing that into the same place where I put the concealer. I'm just going to take that and dust that off in preparation for that eyeshadow. So then I'm going to dig right into Tarte's Flirt palette. This is the travel size. The color I used was Playful. We're going right under that brow bone, using that color as a nice transition color right up under the brow bone and on the outer corner of the lid. I'm going into Riviera's Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. The color I used was Palm. We're focusing that on the outside of the eye, blending that color in right into that transition color, right on the outer corners. So now I'm buffing that out right into the crease, blending it right into that transition color. So right in the inside of the tear duct area, the inner corner, we're using that same color Palm, and we're blending that in. We're going to leave that middle area of the eye available because we're going to do something real fun with that in just a minute. We are cutting the crease, honey. So as you can see, I'm using my left hand. The thumb is pulling up that brow so I can sculpt out that oval shape for the cut crease. And then we're pulling that, dragging that product down right in the middle of the eye. I zoomed in here for you so you see the technique I'm using. I'm carving right above that sunken area where your eyeball is, right under your brow bone. I'm just using like feather-like strokes, dragging that product down. And as you can see, I'm still blending out that smoky look on the outer and inner corner of the eye. So we're going in that same palette. This is the color Hotline. I used a flat-headed brush. I did make sure that it was damp so that the color can stick. I'm dragging that right on the middle area of that eye, blending that all over. I went into the color Touch inside that same palette, and I went over the color Hotline so that it can be intensified. And as you can see, I'm still buffing out the inner corners. You'll get a good look at it here. You'll see me blending out the inner and outer corners, making sure that the color Palm right there, you see, making sure that it's still giving that smoky effect on the inner and outer corner. So this is the white matte eyeliner that I got from Ruby Kisses. This is, you can buy this in the hair store, the dollar store. It is not a recommended liner. It was just the closest thing to me. I wanted to do the double wing effect. but I did have to keep going over layer by layer in order to get that white to stand out. I'm using the Radiant Drops by Tarte. I think this is from their Rainforest collection. I'm using that as a primer, and I'm just going to buff that in her skin with my fingers. And I did use Milk's Blur Stick for her smile lines. So I'm using another product from Ruby Kisses. This is the CNC concealer. The color was medium beige. I'm going right up under her eye. I'm using a concealer brush to kind of fan that out and drag that product along. But I'm also going to use a damp beauty blender to mesh that into her skin, getting a nice smooth effect on that product. You'll see me do this continuously throughout her face. And I'm taking that same translucent powder and I'm pressing that right up under her eye so that it limitates creasing. Now I am going to do a specific technique, so if you guys noticed anything, please comment. If you didn't like it, comment. If you have questions, comment. If you recommend a technique, comment. I do like to grow and I do like to learn, so I don't refuse any feedback. So if you notice, I did the under eyes first so that there's no creasing in the process of me getting all that concealer all over her face. And I'm not using a foundation. I am pressing the concealer throughout her entire face for this look. Taking that beauty blender and getting it all pressed into her skin. Then I have the same LA Pro concealer, but this shade that I'm using is Beautifully Bronze. We're using that to contour her sunken areas of her face. And I'm using a brush just to kind of buff that out. I'm using upward motions, working towards the apples of her cheeks. She has really high cheekbones. I did want to make sure I gave some definition to them and expand them, make them look good. I'm working that nose, honey. Then I went back into Cool Tan, went right over that setting powder that we put, pressed it in with a beauty blender, and now I'm going over it again and baking. This is just a technique that I found that works for me. It's like double layering your concealer under the eye. And this, I haven't found any caking results. I haven't done it more than 2 layers. So if you find that it's caking on you, you may be doing too many layers. I don't know. But I blended it right on top of that setting powder. And as you can see here, I'm going to add a lot more setting powder just to kind of get the bake effect going. Just press it in. Press it in. And as you can see, I'm kind of going up the nose a little bit. Just kind of make sure her nose is snatched, honey. And then I'm just going to line right up under her cheekbone just to give that definition again. Yes. And I'm going to just go through and kind of buff around her brows, making sure everything looks even. This is just a concealer brush that I'm using for that. And I usually don't bake for too long when it's a translucent powder because it does give an ashy look. So I'm going to go ahead and dust that away. I only let her bake for about 1 to 2 minutes. Just dusting that away. And we're going in the Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer. This color is Cappuccino. In the same areas we put that beautiful bronze, we came in with the liquid bronzer. We putting this in the same areas, right in the hollows of her cheek and on her nose, just kind of setting in that contour. I went right into that same palette by Flirt. Went right into the same shades that we use on her eyes, Playful and Hotline, and I went right up under her eye, just to smoke out under her eye. And I'm using All Over Glow highlighter right by Ruby Kisses, straight out of the hair store. This is my favorite highlighter. If you have any that you really like that are drugstore cheap, this is it. These are 5D mink lashes. I got these from the hair store as well. Someone recommended them to me. They said that they show up real well on camera, and I think they do. This was, I think it was S507 was the number of lashes. Yes, period, yes. And so I'm taking Profusion's eyeliner. This is the shade Plum, and it did come out a little more purple than I like. But as a makeup artist on the rise, I noticed that when you apply something and it ain't the color you want, you got to make it work. Because I was going for this burgundy look on the lip, so I just used that liner as a guide for me to outline the lips and make sure I got that lipstick perfected. And this lipstick I also got from the hair store. It was NK Cosmetics. I will make sure I put it in the description exactly the name of it, but I know it was NKB13. Definitely was a good offset for her eyes. Like I said, guys, I was just going for a nice fall look, something you can dress up and also dress down. Yes. Y'all see that cut crease? Y'all see it? Period. Look at that highlight. Yes. And that's it. That is it. This is the look. I can't stop it. I'm gonna keep going. Please way too good that you put it in your mess. Let your mess ass be on in my deal. Instead of reaching, bitches tweaking. In that shit that's going inside. Period. You want me to pause for a second so you can put it on? Nothing. Or I can put it in there for you. This is a development. Yeah. Fart on you. Yeah. Fart on you.
Killer beans.